In terms of when you go and try to sell Vectera to customers, what is the biggest barrier or biggest, rather, I should say biggest challenge? We've talked about barriers, but biggest challenge in adoption or using GenAI? Is it the regulatory requirements? Is it the hallucination? Is it data quality? And maybe perhaps going back to it, the skill gap. Once a company actually adopts GenAI, what is the biggest challenge in being successful
Yeah.
while using GenAI?
Yeah, so I have a controversial answer for this one, and it's a bit longer to explain as well. I apologize, but the biggest challenge is, and I'm trying to find the polite way to say it, is the not invented here gene. The not invented here gene, meaning this. If you look at databases 50 years ago, if you were to go back in time 50 years ago and you want to build a database, you had to go and build a database yourself. You had to go and get the query planner, the query indexer, the SQL parser, the storage systems, and then you had to glue them together in the right way, and then you built your database. And everybody was happy doing that, loved doing that, and so on. But over time, developers very quickly started to see that why are we wasting our time doing that when we can just buy a database from Oracle or whatever and finish building the thing that's going to make a difference for our business? And unfortunately, because of how new this RAG space is, a lot of developers think, hey, we can just build it ourselves. Oh, there's this LangChain thing. I can just grab LangChain, grab this VectorDB, grab that embedding model, grab that generative model, and then build a pipeline myself. And yes, you can build a prototype very easily doing that. Yes. Now get that prototype to work in production with low hallucination, with accurate, high quality results, with security, with no data leakage, with no data privacy issues, with the explainability being done correct, with the ability to call APIs, to do actions, and they start putting their hair out. And not to mention the enterprise readiness in terms of scalability, cost, availability in different regions, disaster recovery, et cetera, et cetera. So we are going through a phase right now, and that's natural. I saw the same phase happen with Hadoop, with Cloudera, where the developers really want to do it themselves. I want to build a RAG pipeline myself. And they haven't really evolved yet into the next phase, which is, I want to build this business logic application for my business so I can get my raise and earn my salary. I'm just going to use this solution to build this application because that's what they really need, as opposed to reinventing the wheel from scratch over and over again. And not to mention that they underestimate how hard it is. As you said correctly during the example you gave with embeddings earlier, about how fine-tuning the embeddings led you to build a much better system. Most of them don't know that. They don't know how to do these things. And they end up building very, very crappy stuff. So if you ask me what's the biggest friction point right now for not just for Vectara, but I would say anybody working in this space, in the RAG space, it's that. It's how many developers out there thinking they can do it themselves, build it themselves, fail, which wastes about 4-6 months, and then they come to work with you.